Alrighty. Here we go. Turn this music down a touch. Hello everybody, welcome back to Big Nerds Wargaming. I am Sam, and today I'm going to be speed painting some Necrons. I'm going to try doing a batch of 20. Call me crazy, but I think it can be done. So, doing a speed paint method, it's mostly dry brushing. If you've seen previous live streams, I've done this before with other units. So, should be a little familiar there, but just going to do some Necron warriors. So if you're new to the channel, we do battle reports, painting videos, terrain crafting, anything and everything around the miniature wargame hobby. Mainly Warhammer stuff. But yeah, so welcome. So, first color I'm going to be using is Runelord Brass. Now it's got this plastic paint palette here, so I'm going to get some of that on there. And just work it in this big dry brush that I'm going to be using, which is a makeup brush. Just using a junk brush to get it out of the pot. And for dry brushes, I like to use just some cheap makeup brushes you can find on Amazon. Get a whole set for like, you know, 12 bucks. You get a whole set, a couple big brushes, a bunch of smaller ones. And they work well, especially for paint methods like this that rely heavily on dry brushing. So I'm just going to get this big brush and get most of it off. And just go around the whole miniature. Just trying to get a big swath top to down. Now this technique is something I found on a channel called Zorpazorp a few years ago, but it is a great method for painting kind of box art style speed paint version of the Saracon dynasty. And that is the same dynasty my Necrons are. So it's a great method. It works out really well. It's nice and quick. It's easy. And most importantly, the results are great. So I'm just going in. So if you want to see the whole method there, check out his channel, Zorpazorp. Just giving credit where credit is due. But I need these Necrons painted up for my army, for the Pariah Nexus Crusade series we have going. We're going to be working on shooting Wave 2 of those battle reports soon. So I need to add to my Crusade force. So I'm going to be adding some Necron warriors to that. So for that, I need to get these painted up. And speed painting is the way. You have a big army and a lot of models to paint. And some other exciting channel news. We hit 1,000 subscribers recently. So if you are subscribed and you're watching this, either live here or after the fact, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and all your support. It means a lot. Hoping to grow more. Why stop at 1,000? So you can see this is going pretty fast. Granted, this step is very basic, but I'm already, halfway through my stack of Necrons. And these big brushes, they hold a lot of paint. In fact, this is the first time I'm going back for more. About halfway through. Just gonna refill my brush. Get some more paint down there. I think I need some more. Once again, just getting my junky, messed up brush out there. It's good for dipping. Get some paint on my palette. And work it in the bristles. Brush it off and back to the races. So I say dry brush, but this is more of like an overbrush. Just kind of sloshing it on there. Not worrying too much about coverage. So anywhere where it's kind of darker still, that's okay. It's like a shadow. I will be going in with a smaller brush to pick out some other areas that need it. But this is just kind of getting basic blocking in of the overall tone and lighting in one go. I know these Necrons new sculpts have been out for a while now, but I do love these new warrior sculpts. Say new. It's been like, what, 4 years now? 3 years? But they do look great. I do miss the old retro ones with the green plastic tube. It's very iconic, but these ones are pretty cool. I do like them. They look very cranky and undead, like they just woke up from a long slumber. Alright, now I'm going to grab a smaller brush. Let's see here. A smaller makeup brush. Between these two, I think I'll go with this one. It's a little bit smaller. And I'm going to same color, Rune Lord Brass. And I'm just going to look in here and see anywhere that really needs it. So, there's a little bit in the chest area. Get these armor panels. Just want to make sure it's not totally black in the shadow. That's pretty good. I need some more paint on my palette. Just gonna work it in the bristles. Wipe away on the paper towel. Yeah, it's good. You can test your dry brush amount on your finger or hand. Make sure you have the right amount before you go ahead and stick it on the model. Works pretty well. So even though it's just one color, it's already looking pretty interesting. Just with the black in the recesses there, adding that depth. One thing you can do with any metallic is dry brush it over black, and it looks great, generally speaking. So if you don't want to do a dark wash over metallic, you can just dry brush it over black, and you get kind of a cheap, similar effect. Just gonna get a little bit on there, all around. Make sure it's covered evenly enough. Now usually on these streams I paint character models, single miniatures from start to finish, but I just really need to get these warriors done, and this valuable time I have to do that, so I'm going to be working on that instead of kind of the single character high detail pieces you normally see me paint. And I like to add a little bit of variety to the channel. what I paint. Trying to remember which one I left off on when I set that one down. But I found it. 20 at once. It's too much. It's too much. Hello, David. Welcome. I'm telling you, Sam, these are some serious... I can't read the chat. Hang on. Undernourished sisters. That's funny. So we got new internet hooked up. So hopefully the stream is of high quality, good frame rate, good bit rate. Hopefully the delay is decreased a bit noticeably, I hope. So you have to let me know how things are looking on your end. But yeah, things are going well. Kind of busy the last couple weeks. Just with stuff going on. Haven't been able to stream, but back at it. Chat lag appears to be well down. Awesome! That's what I like to hear. And hopefully that chat lag will be a thing of the past, because we are running on fiber optic connection now. No more of that cable internet. So I'm very excited about the new internet, just for better streaming. I do want to maybe stream a live battle report one of these days. And now that's technically possible, thanks to the internet connection. I just feel like it wasn't good enough before to do that, just with all the motion. And I still have a little bit of a setup to figure out there, but that'd be kind of fun to do one of these days. But yeah, channel recently hit 1,000 subscribers, so that's a pretty good milestone. I'm excited that we hit that eventually here, so growing slowly but surely. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. Trying to keep up on the narrative campaign. Yeah, it's kind of a loose narrative, so you know, you don't have to watch every single battle, but you can kind of watch the ones you like if scout armies that interest you. You know, you see the force grow over from game to game, but yeah, we don't have a very, like, you know, hard story going on. Just kind of the story's happening as the battles unfold. But it's been a lot of fun. We just wrapped up the first wave of our battle reports for that, and we're going to start shooting the next wave soon, so we can get those rolling out throughout the probably most of summer, and then try to thread in some other videos as well. It's not just battle reports back to back. But yeah, things are going well. Things are busy. Got plenty of hobby projects to work on. So it'll be fun. So the next color I'm going to use is Canoptic Alloy. I joined the Crusade at my local game store. Tabled by Eldar in first game. 4 battle scars. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. You rolled very poorly. I've been pretty good with dodging battle scars in my gaming group's Crusade. But But yeah, ooh, 4 battle scars. That's brutal. Alright, so this next color, Cadaptic Alloy. Just using a big Citadel dry brush here. And I'm just going to go kind of from top down. Pick out the raised areas. Try to catch those edges with Cadaptic Alloy. Along the head. I'm doing 20 at once here, so I can't spend too much time on any particular one model. But they also need to look good, so. Well, if you were painting Necrons, you could have painted mine. That is a possibility. I'm actually, I may be, taking on a commission for, a Tau army soon. Sounds like that's probably going to be happening. That'll be my first commission work. If that all pans out. Which I'm actually kind of excited for. I've never painted Tau. It'll be a lot of battle suits, some infantry, about 2,000 points all in all. I'll keep that in mind if I get some Tomb Sentinels. Ah, yes. But yeah, depending on how this commission job goes, I may end up doing more of it. Have a way to practice more on the side, painting some stuff that I normally wouldn't. You know, kind of going outside my normal color palette, because you know you're painting what the client would want as far as the scheme goes. So, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good experience. Hopefully it won't be too overwhelming. So you can kind of see the difference here on stream between the left side and the right side. Just this little dry brush of Cadaptic Alloy is doing. Just kind of brightening things up a bit. Kind of adding some depth to those brassy tones. Oh my, 20 warriors. This is a lot. This is a big batch. I think the biggest batch of anything I've ever painted was 36 termagants. Because sometimes I just like to punish myself, apparently. That was a grind, but I got through it. But at the end of a big batch, it feels great knowing that you've finished all those models and you don't have any more little batches to go. It's just that one big one. You made it through to the end. That's a very good feeling. Although it can be quite the grind. pass. 36 is too much. Yeah, I'd only paint that many of something if you have the process down and you know it's going to be quick. But yeah, definitely higher detail stuff. I generally stick in batches of sometimes even as small as 3, but usually like 5 or 10. I feel like that's good size for most batches. But whenever I start a new unit or a new paint job, I always paint one model to completion to kind of figure out how long it's going to take and, you know, what I want to do with the scheme. And then I'll do a batch after that. And I may even dial down the level of detail, just depending on how things go. Because when you're painting one model at a time, it's easier to kind of get carried away and keep adding to it. Then you have to remember, I got a whole squad of these to paint, so, you know, you gotta dial some things back here and there if you want to get things done on a schedule. I like dark brown under gold or copper colors. That is a good scheme. I use that on my Mechanicus, Sector Mechanicus terrain with like the walkways and the bridges and stuff. I'll do like Mournfang brown over black, and then a little bit of Runelord brass on that, and you get like a nice dirty rusty metal look, which looks really nice. Again, that's another thing you can do without having to use a brown wash or anything like that. Alright, so now that main dry brushes are laid down, I'm gonna wash off my plastic palette here. A little dab of alcohol. That paint comes right off. I do have a little work sink behind me, but I don't want to get up. Alright, so we can put that out of the way. And then the next color we're going to move on to is Lead Belcher. Now it's time to use the palette. Somehow I got jumped back to the beginning of the stream. I don't know what to say. I guess that can happen sometimes. Let's just check our stream quality. Stream quality is excellent. Yeah, I think we're doing well. Alright, so next we're gonna move on to Lead Belcher. Where are you, Lead Belcher? Lead Belcher, metallic. Give this a good shake on the old vortex mixer. I was searching for the word vortex mixer. Gotta find a brush that will work for us. And that's in decent enough shape. You get some new standard junk brushes. That's okay, it doesn't need to be a very nice brush. Alright, so Lead Belcher is next, and this is going to be for all the other underlying bone pieces on the Necrons. And I'll try to work quickly here. Just going to be these exposed bones, these like joints at the knees. Just going to get those with Lead Belcher. The skeleton, the hips. Again, these joints. The shins, arms, get the blade on the gun, get this rail going down the gun too. That. Get this bone here on the arm. I just like to kind of get in the armpits and the joints and all that stuff. There, so now we got 1 down, 19 to go. And I think it'll go faster the further in the batch I get. Also trying to train myself to paint faster. But of course, you have to build up brush control if you want to paint fast. And to build up brush control, you just have to paint. So trying to paint regularly and often is a great way to paint fast. Go figure. $20? Yes. Well, I wanted to do 1,000 Necron warriors, you know, for 1,000 subscribers. Just kidding. That would be a pretty funny though, like 24-hour live stream or longer. 1,000 warriors. Oh, hold on. I'm not done with this one. Got ahead of myself here. Forgot about the arms. It's got some bony skeleton arms showing. But yeah, those tomb worlds aren't going to awaken themselves. Someone's got to paint the Necrons. All right, so what's everyone working on? What's the current hobby, Warhammer project, whatever? I'll go first. I'm painting some Necrons. I'm also 3D printing some Necron terrain. I painted some of it on stream, but I'm printing more of it. I just printed this hill kind of structure, which has this cool, like, I don't know, these two pylons that come up, and there's like an energy thing that would go in the middle. It's like on top of a hill. Think of it like a Necron satellite dish almost. That's gonna look pretty cool. Excited to get that painted up. Probably get it on some Pariah Nexus battle reports in the next wave of videos. Oh, hey, Ben! Welcome. Building 2,000 points of Knight Desecrators at the same time right now. Oh, that's awesome. We're hobbying together. I love it. That's the whole idea of this. Be able to, have a screen in front of you and working on your projects, and we can chat and hang out and build and paint. It may come as a shock to you, but sisters, I'm working on a Celestian Sacrosanct squad at the moment. Ooh, awesome. Very cool. Are you excited about the new Sisters Codex coming out soon? Well, yeah, it is soon. Is it, do you think it's going to be June or July? I know there's a new Gene Stealer Cult Codex coming out around the same time, which I'm pretty excited about. Gotta love those sneaky boogers. Squig Burger. Hey there. Welcome, Squig Burger. Squig Burger, are you an orc player by chance? Yeah, thinking more towards the end of June. I love the look of the Canis with the jump pack. Yeah. That is really cool. What do you think of the Gene Stealer Cult dude with the big swelling brain? So goofy. I love it. Not yet, but want to get some. Nice. What do you collect any factions, Squigburger? Any miniatures? What's your favorite faction? What do you play? I want to know. I want to know all the things. Finishing up a Deathwatch veteran squad right now. Awesome. Deathwatch. I like the Deathwatch. I almost when I got back into 40k and I picked up the Indomitus box, I almost made the Space Marines in their Deathwatch. I was going through what chapter I would want to do if I didn't go Ultramarines. Deathwatch was in there. I was considering Blood Angels. I was considering the Blood Ravens. And Dark Angels were in consideration as well. But more seriously, I was definitely considering Deathwatch. But then I just decided to go with Ultramarines. I know, I'm basic like that. I just love the way the blue armor looks. And I like Romans. They're space Romans. Also want to do Black Templars and Space Wolves. Yeah, Black Templars. I like them. Space Wolves are... I can't say anything bad about Space Wolves because we have a Space Wolves player in chat right now. Nah, Space Wolves are alright. They got some interesting stuff with all the Wolf Riders and all that. The Norse mythology kind of intertwined the Viking culture. But yeah, Black Templars. I totally forgot about Black Templars. And I forgot about them too when I was deciding what chapter to do. In hindsight, because they came out with all those cool new Black Templar stuff a few years ago. Like the army box and everything. I may have actually done Black Templars had I known. But I did Ultramarines. I don't regret it though. I like the Ultramarines. It was my my brother's faction back when he used to play. I like to think maybe I can lure him back in. Have him over for a game and he can play Ultramarines. Something familiar. Variety is the spice of life. Yes. It's a motto I live by. That's why I have 5 armies. Nah, the truth is, I just have a buying problem. You know, but I do like to collect multiple armies, just for that fact, that you can, if you get sick of painting one type of troop or one faction, you can jump around to another one that you're working on, and something different to paint. You can try out different colors, different models. It's a lot of fun. There are also some other games I want to collect minis for. Yeah, there's a bunch of cool, like, there's one cool game, Armada, Mantic's Armada by Mantic Games, where it's like fantasy naval warfare, which is pretty fun. If you can find the miniatures for him, an old Games Workshop game, Battlefleet Gothic, that one's really cool. It's like spaceships, 40k spaceships. Actually, a lot of the Mantic miniatures are pretty cool. I like those. Bolt action. I have some bolt action stuff I need to paint. I like World War II history. It's a game I want to play more of, or I should say play. I haven't played it at all. Looking at Majestic 13 and Space Station 0. I am not familiar with those. I'll have to look at those. There's just so many different games out there now, and miniatures, between 3D printing and all the small game companies out there. Some of them even 3D print their own stuff and they ship it out. So we definitely have variety, which is very cool. Oh, I did back, I don't know if you see on miniwargaming.com, they have their game Ravage Star. You can use them as like 40k proxies, but they have their own, you know, rule set. But I did back one of the like the Tyranid alien boxes of monsters. So that'll be, I think, coming either in the fall or late summer is when they ship. So those are some really cool looking miniatures. I'm looking forward to painting those up. Yeah, those two are rule sets, and you can use your minis as you want. Oh, nice. Miniature agnostic games. That's an interesting idea, you know. It's like, kind of like one-page rules, although we really know one-page rules is meant to be a Warhammer replacement as far as rules go. Which I haven't played one-page rules. And I'm sure it's a lot of fun and nice and simplified, but I feel like with how the 10th edition of 40k is going, or how it, you know, it came out it seemed like they were kind of addressing a lot of the complaints that people had about 9th edition with the rules bloat and stuff. What are you basing these with? Lead Belcher? Yes, so I started with a dry brush of Runelord Brass, and then I did a very light dry brush of Canoptic Alloy, and now I'm going over all the exposed bones and like inner bits with Lead Belcher. So just kind of getting the metallics down, and then I'm going to go over this with a bunch of washes, and it'll look really great. So it may look a little sloppy right now, but that's okay. This is actually a scheme I found a couple of years ago on a YouTube channel called Zorpazorp. Maybe seen his videos. But he did a painting guide on painting Sericon Necrons. So this is actually his scheme that I'm demonstrating here, going through here. I ended up using it on my Necrons, and it's a really easy scheme to do. It involves a lot of dry brushing and some washes, but you can paint them fairly quickly. I mean, hence I'm doing a batch of 20 of them right now. And once you get the the process down, you can just kind of grind through it, and the results look really good. Like, I timed myself for painting the entire Indomitus box set of the Necrons, and it took me about 20 hours, and that's including assembly time. So I think you get, like, if you're not familiar with the box, you get 3 Scorpec Destroyers, a Scorpec Lord, Reanimator, Plasmancer, Royal Warden, Overlord, 20 Warriors, some Scarabs. So a good amount of models, but you can get through them pretty quickly with this this scheme. You have more Necrons than these? Yes. I have a whole army of Necrons. And I have a whole bunch more on sprue in boxes. Actually have some more thanks to Ben, if he's still in chat. He unloaded some of his Necrons that he didn't want on me, so I've been working through those too. Thank you. Yeah, Necrons is an army I wasn't planning on collecting. And then it just kind of happened. Mainly because I wanted an army that I could put together that my friends could use, and I could teach them how to play against my Tyranids. And then I just kind of ended up getting more and more. No worries, they deserve the paint. Yeah, I'm happy to add to the Undying Legions. I feel like Necrons are kind of like Tyranids, you know. Do you actually ever have enough? But yeah, my primary army is Tyranids. That's my favorite. But I have Tyranids, Genestealer, Cult, Eldar, Space Marines, Necrons. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, I have some Imperial Guard stuff too. Astra Militarum. That's a very small amount. And then I have a whole slew of kill teams. I dabble in kill team as well. They just have such cool models. The gameplay is fun. I have a batch of Genestealers that I got used from my local hobby shop. Just assembled and primed, that's it. So I need to figure out paint scheme. Like the actual Genestealers or the Genestealer cult? Because if they're the Gene Stealers, I mean, yeah, you can go with like a different Hive Fleet scheme. Or you could go with like the Pure Strain Gene Stealer scheme that you see in like the old Space Hulk artwork with like the purple, the Gene Stealer purple. Actual Gene Stealers. 6 armed ones. Nice. Yeah, for my Gene Stealer cult army, I found secondhand some of those old retro Gene Stealers. This is actually now 2 sculpts ago because they came out with the newer sculpt. But I found some of those old retro ones, so I made those my Gene Stealer cult army Pure Strain Gene Stealers. Since I already had a ton of regular ones for my Tyranids. But yeah, those are, I mean, such an iconic model, the Gene Stealer. Almost as iconic as like a Terminator, I think. They're just so cool. Like Space Hulk, that's a game that they need to do another edition of. It's a classic. I was thinking of fluorescent green and a light purple scheme. That would look cool. Yeah. Greens and purples and yellows, they all go together really well. In fact, I have this paint that I want to try on something. It's by Laserface Turbo Dork. It's got like a color shift from like a greenish yellow all the way down to pink. So I want to use this for something. I have a spaceship miniature game called Drop Fleet Commander. And it came with some like alien ships, and I thought that would be a good paint to use on that. That wouldn't require much effort to paint. I can get that little fleet painted up really quickly and just start playing games with it. Because not everything needs to be like, you know, display worthy. You know, just get some paint on it, put it on the table, play some games. It's all about finding the right balance. How much time you have, how many models you have, how many models you want to have painted, all that stuff. But yeah, my Tyranid army actually has a lot of greenish tones in the skin. And then the carapace is kind of like a teal color, or like Thunderhawk blue, with some grays on the highlights. And then as an accent color, I have purples and like a screamer pink kind of over the green. It blends in there. You get that nice complementary color effect going on. I think they call it Kill Team. They call what Kill Team? Oh, Space Hulk? I know they actually have a whole board game, though, for Space Hulk and its own rules. But, I mean, yeah, the Into the Dark expansion, or season, whatever you want to call it, for Kill Team is essentially Space Hulk. That's always fun. I also want to play some more boarding actions games. I have the boarding actions terrain all ready to go for that. And I don't know if any of you follow White Dwarf, but we get seems like every couple months, they come up with a bunch of new boarding action scenarios for 40K. So it reminds me that boarding actions is a thing, and it'd be fun to play. There's just so many awesome games, so many awesome miniatures, and just not enough time. It's impossible, really, to do it all. But in the moment, you know, Games Workshop makes you think that you can do it all, which is why some of us buy. I'm speaking from personal experience. It's all good, though. Alright, so I'm just a little over halfway through with this color on this batch of 20 warriors. So it's going pretty quick. And with 1,723 ways to speed paint your army to a high quality in 25 minutes. Yes. That is true. I won't knock speed paints though and contrast paints. They are a wonderful tool. I don't think that they're a full-on replacement though. But I guess they are an alternative way to get, you know, some decent looking stuff fairly quickly. It's a trade-off, right? But I just like to really use contrast paints as like an alternate type of wash, because depending on what you use them over, you can get some really cool effects, like especially over metallics, which I will be doing in a minute here once I finish up this lead belcher step. I'll have to check out those turbo paints. I haven't used any yet, but I just know of their existence, and I kind of like to order paints and different hobby supplies just to have on hand, because I know that like there'll be a time when I'm sitting down to work on something and I'll wish I had a particular kind of paint, or I have a project in the back of my mind that I know I'm going to get to eventually. So that way when I do sit down and do it, I'll be ready to go. Yeah, so those alien ships is what I'm going to plan to use those turbo dork paints on. There's another color of theirs I have. It's this, it's called 2 cents. It's like super copper, essentially. That one was in my Adepticon swag bag. Kind of introduced me to their line of paints. But I had seen some of those color shifting ones before. There's like some blue to silver ones and some really cool effects. You can use them on like power swords and stuff. Color shift would be really cool for aliens. Been looking at some fluorescence too. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, a buddy of mine showed me a Terminator that he was painting, and he used like a color shifting blue on the like a bluish silver on his power sword, and that looked really cool. I see where that could get some pretty amazing results. Yeah. Sometimes those technical paints, or like those, you know, effect colors and stuff, some people may see it as like a, I don't know, cheating or not, you know, a cop-out, but I don't know, you can get some really cool effects, and they just look great. I mean, metallic paints are kind of like the original, cheating color paint, you know? Painting some easy metallics. But we're so used to using metallics for everything. They've been around for a really long time. But it sure beats painting non-metallic metal. I never understood how anyone can apply the term cheating to painting. I think people only say that when they're mad that they didn't think of the technique first. And they've been doing it a slow way. It's a coping mechanism, really. But I agree. If it works, use it, you know? Like the slap chop method. It's a great method to make your contrast paints look better. And you can even, like, do some, you know, traditional layering and highlights on top of that, you know, and then it's just another tool in the box you can use. You don't have to conform strictly to one method of painting, you know. Mix and match what you learn. Paint's a little thin. Got some water on my brush where I didn't want it messing up. Wipe some of that away. Let's try that again. That's a bit better. I'm not a fan of slap chop, so I don't use it. My son-in-law loves it and gets some pretty decent results, so more power to him. Yeah. I tried slap chop on my kill teams, a lot of kill teams, and it works better for some than others. I also used it on my Eldari Corsairs, just for like their main armor and some of their cloaks. Because some of those contrast colors look really nice with slap chop. My problem with a lot of contrast paint, though, is it can make the colors look a little too, I don't know, like bubblegummy, or like, I don't know, like saturated, kind of funny. Maybe a little unnatural looking. Cartoony, yeah, a little cartoony. And if you've seen, you know, the stuff I paint, or like some of the models I have in like battle reports and stuff, I like to paint a little bit more muted colors. Not everything's not necessarily super vibrant. I mean, I do use some vibrant colors here and there, but overall it's kind of got a more natural, muted color scheme. Maybe more in the, like, more what you see in, like, photorealism, that color palette. Not saying I paint photorealistically, but, you know, that color palette. Kind of more natural colors that you see in the real world. But, you know, to each their own. Everybody's got their own preferred style. That's where I think doing some commission painting would be interesting, because it kind of pushes you out of your comfort zone as far as color choice goes, because someone may be very particular on what kind of scheme they want or want you to kind of replicate. So, you know, good opportunity to try something different, and it doesn't have to be on your models. Don't look at this lot too long, Squidburger. Look at it as an amazing adventure and journey ahead of you. Yes. Absolutely. I just got 5 more to go. 4 more after this one. Then I can move on to the next step. And they'll really start coming to life. Yeah, YouTube is a great learning resource. This is something I wish... So, I started painting miniatures when I was like 12 or 13. Back in like, you know, early mid 2000s. And all we had was the internet and blogs. And, you know, you'd see something where Games Workshop, you know, in one of their articles, they talk about a method called dry brushing. Where you wipe most of the paint off and then you kind of flick over it. You can kind of get an idea of what the method is, but, you know, nowadays on YouTube, you can see someone actually demonstrate it in real time, which is just, you know, huge. Compared to just reading things with a couple pictures here and there. Actually seeing someone go through the motions and demonstrate things, you can learn a lot that way. Also, I'll say YouTubes and then wet palettes. I wish I had a wet palette years ago, because it is my favorite modern painting tool, I think. Just being able to keep your paint on your palette wet, go figure, and just makes mixing colors so easy. And you can put the lid on it and come back to it the next day, and all your colors are mostly intact. Some of them do kind of break apart from all the extra moisture, but it's just a wonderful tool. I wish I had one of those years ago. I didn't even know it was a thing or an option. We were just working with these plastic ones. You know, everything would dry out. You have to add water back to it. Alright, 3 warriors left. Now we're gonna move on to the next color. Woohoo! What I love about this scheme too is I don't have to be terribly neat. And with all the washes and the dry brushing and just the kind of rougher look that it has, it works and you get away with it. Not all color schemes are like that. Some need to be cleaned. But not this one. This is why I'm also able to paint so many warriors at once. Back in the day, I used a 5/8 picture glass. Yeah. That works too. Or I paint straight from the pot. I painted straight from the pot too. And I wonder why I struggled so much with some paints. Like some paint was just so thick. Yeah, being able to get the right consistency with a wet palette. It's a game changer. It's like total control. I'm amazed that we didn't have them all sooner. Friends don't let friends paint from the pot. Not these days. Unless there's a contrast paint. Some of those you can paint right from the pot. There are a few exceptions to that rule. Citadel paints seem to be thicker. The Army Painter ones seem to be more thin. Yes, and the Army Painter ones you have to shake for like a year and a half. But they are decent paints. I do like them. I've been using them more and more. I'm a huge fan of their air paint line. So I have an airbrush, and they have like the color triads. And you don't have to do any thinning really with the airbrush paints. They're ready to go right out of the pot, so you can just pour them right into the airbrush reservoir and go. They work very nicely. Army Painter is Army Painter, despite what Sam says. Pro Acryl is the best out there at the moment. You think so? I actually haven't used much Pro Acryl. I've only heard good things about their titanium white. I think I've mentioned that on previous streams. Which I should get a pot of that and stop using White Scar. It's just a horrible color. I've been trying to convince Sam of this for some months now. What, to use Pro Acryl? I don't have a pot of it yet. Every time I'm out, I try to look for it, and I don't see it. I think I have to order it online. I will get some Pro Acryl paints though, because... Okay, other than the titanium white, what else would you recommend? It's like a must-have Pro Acryl color. Compare Vallejo to Army Painter. Oh, you don't have high opinion of Army Painter, do you? They're metallics, okay. Have you tried the Army Painter Fanatic paint line? I have not, and from what I've seen, those look pretty good. allergy season. The Fanatic paints intrigue me by Army Painter. I've been tempted to pick up the whole set. So I seen that they stopped producing the whole set as a box. They just have the Mega set, which has like half of them or so. And it's a pretty good value if you want, you know, you can get every single color in the line. But also, I don't know if they're that good. Like, if it's, you know, I use them a lot or not. I tried the new line and it took me 5 coats to get a base coat of white on black primer. Well, you're painting white on black primer. I mean, you're setting yourself up to fail right there. Can you paint white directly over black primer with Pro Acryl? Is it that good? I'm skeptical now. Alright, Lead Belcher is done on 20 warriors. Look at that. I've only been at this for about an hour now. That's not too bad. I'll take it. Yep, Procol, you can do a coat of bright, warm gray, and then a coat of titanium white. You get the same, better coverage on black. Okay, what about the Fanatic white over black with gray? I'd say that'd be an interesting video, but I'm sure somebody's already done a video on which white is the best white, you know. Seems like a topic that's been done. You could probably find out with a quick search on YouTube. Okay, so I think the next step is I'm gonna tidy up the black on the gun. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna tidy up the black on the gun, and I'm gonna also paint the spine on the back. For that, I'm going to use Black Templar contrast paint. You mentioned new line, and it took me 5 coats. Oh, you mentioned Gen Con. I didn't. I mentioned Adepticon. I have not been to Gen Con, though. I'm not trying to tell anyone not to use it. I encourage anyone to try what they want, try to find out what works for them. If the picture is shaking, that's because that is my Vortex mixer over here in the corner. Mixing up some Black Templar. Adepticon, that's right, yep. But the Army Painter air paints, they're fantastic. I love them. Their metallic air paint is also pretty good too. You need to cover a large section with metallics. I mean, but overall, I'm still a big fan of the Citadel paints. I mean, it's like 80% of my collection is Citadel paints. Metallic through my airbrush scares me. Yeah, but I mean, like, I love them so much, I bought a whole bunch of them. All these metallic air paints. You got like Evil Chrome, some like dark brown, rough iron. They go on pretty thin. You know, a couple of coats with the airbrush or just, you know, spray it. very carefully. You get a nice even application. I think it turns out pretty nice. Alright, Black Templar is the next color in the process, and for this I'm going to put that on the gun. Except for where I painted the lead belcher. Just want to get that gun body back to black. It's okay if the metallic is showing a little bit underneath. That's why I'm using a contrast paint. Just kind of adds to the overall look. Doesn't have to be fully opaque black. And then doing Black Templar down this skeleton spine in the back. Like that. And do I do the hips? No, I think I'll leave the hips alone. There. One down, 19 to go. Get this center column. Get the spine. And clean up the gun. Just got to get the rhythm down. It gets really methodical. You just grind your way through. So when you're painting, do you sit there in silence with your own thoughts? Do you have like you listen to music, audiobooks, YouTube? What do you do when you paint? I do all of the above. But preferably, I think I bounce between maybe music and audiobook. About the same amount when I'm painting. I used to watch YouTube battle reports, but then I realized I wasn't actually watching the battle report, I was just listening to it. So I thought books would be better. All the above as well. I catch ball game if available, or listen to some hobby related. I don't do audiobooks. You should try. Maybe you have tried. It's a very efficient way to consume books. But, you know, reading physical books is also very nice and a way to kind of unplug from the technology. Audiobooks are actually great while doing other tasks, but somehow I retain the material better. Yeah, I mean, some people are better learning from listening, some are better learning from watching, and some are better learning from doing. And I think that sometimes, like, I wonder where, like, physically reading falls in that category, if that's kind of like a mix of listening and doing, because you're doing something physical to learn. I don't know. The things I think about sometimes. Yeah, I like audiobooks, music mostly. Every now and then I get on a 40k lore kick, and I want to listen to some YouTube lore channels. Like Voldemort, he's got some good stuff, or Luton. I'm not really a huge fan of like the comedy meme lore kind of stuff. It's just not my style. I like the ones that are a little bit more, they take it more seriously. Sam has gone full philosophical. See, these are the things I think about when I'm painting without any music. It's just my thoughts. I retain nothing from audiobooks. From doing something else, I'm too focused on that task. Yeah, sometimes if I'm painting something that I'm not familiar with, like figuring out a new scheme, then I can't listen to an audiobook because, yeah, my mind will wander too much. But if I'm doing something that I'm very familiar with, such as batch painting 20 Necron warriors, or batch painting termagants or something like that, or a scheme I have down pat that I could, go through without even thinking, then yeah, audiobook, I can focus on that and get some painting done. Just finished the Blood of Esahim Stormcaller, the Hellwinter Gate Space Wolf book series. Really good. Huh. Nice. Are those 40k novels, or are those part of the Horus Heresy? I'm guessing they're 40k novels, right? I'm going through Horus Heresy, and every now and then I'll jump around back to like 40k novels, so I'm not fully in the past of as far as the lore goes. I'm currently going through The Fall of Cadia audiobook. So far, that's pretty good. I'm enjoying that. Makes me want to collect some Black Legion Chaos Space Marines. Yeah, 40k novels. Cubbies, no hitting the Brewers in the 7th at the moment. Ooh. Yeah, I'm a Brewers fan by default. But to be honest, I don't really follow sports much anymore. I used to follow sports more, but not so much anymore. Baseball is life. Nice. The great American pastime. I respect baseball. I'm not super into it, though. It can be kind of slow. And that's coming from somebody who plays Warhammer. $40K is a hobby. Baseball is life. I found out Milwaukee has a huge hurling league. Irish stick and ball. No way. I did not know that. I wouldn't be surprised though. Milwaukee's kind of a weird city. Sometimes I like to think Milwaukee is like the Portland of the Midwest. Or like Seattle of the Midwest. Got a lot of character. Hurling League, is this a bar pub thing? Matches are at 2 a.m. Portland is a mess right now. Yes, Portland is a mess right now. I guess I mean like Portland, how you think of it, or how you used to think of it. Kind of a quirky city with a lot of character. But now it's just kind of a dump, isn't it? Sorry if anyone lives in Portland. Maybe one day Portland will be great again. All right now, Ben, let's not get too political here. Last one. Yeah. All right, have to head out and make dinner. Have a good one. You too, thanks for hanging out with us, Squig Burger. We'll catch you again next time. Don't forget to paint your minis. $15 down, 10 to go. No, 5, 10. Yeah, 15. No. 4, 8, 12. I can't count. 12 down. 16 to go. Yeah, I got him in stacks of 4, not 5. I figured it out. I got there. Math is hard sometimes, counting. I really should be better at math. Eight to go. Wait, did I just say 16 to go? Yeah, 8 to go. Yeah, I realized I probably said those totals completely wrong. The amount I was thinking and the amount I said were disjointed. My inner mathematician is asking a calculator. Although I do know my multiplication tables. Still. So I think the next color I'm going to go to is Cryptek Armor Shade on all the brassy components. Really start to make it look like, excuse me, the Sarkhan Dynasty. That'll be fun to jump to a new color. I can't wait. In the grim dark future, there are no calculators. There is only war. And machines they call cogitators. But they only cogitate, they don't calculate. The only number you have to care about is 40,000. Right. Working our way through here. Has anyone seen Dune 2 yet? I know it's been out on video for a while now. I saw it in the theater and I thought it was amazing. I'm a big fan of the Dune movies. And I'm currently reading the books. I'm on the first book still. I know, I'm that guy. I saw the movie and I want to read the book. But the Dune universe, all the copies were rented out from my local Blockbuster. Oh, is that because I said on video? Shut up, Ben. I meant that you could buy it on DVD or stream it, rent it on, you know, Amazon to stream it, whatever. But the Dune universe is, I should say, the 40K universe seems to borrow a lot from the Dune universe. Which is cool. I think that's why I find it so appealing. It's familiar, and I can see kind of the, you know, old sci-fi tropes that inspired a lot of other sci-fi universes that were in Dune. I was like to, you know, see those patterns and stuff, especially like older stories and universes. You see something, you're like, hey, that looks familiar, and you realize that the modern stuff that you love just borrowed from it. The board games made me want to read the books. I got through the first 3, liked them a lot. Yeah. Have you seen the movie though, Ben? The new movie, not the one with Patrick Stewart. That one's kind of a hard watch. I mean, if you haven't seen the movies, I would recommend. They're very good. I fell asleep during the first one. Aw, man. It is a slow burn, yes. But, it's a slow burn, but it's worth every minute of it. It's the same director that did Blade Runner 2049. You can definitely tell it's got similar vibes to it. Alright, next up, Cryptek Armor Shade Gloss. Give this a good mix on the mixer here. Someone has mentioned Blockbuster. Elan, hello. How's it going? I'm batch painting a bunch of Necrons today. Slowly but surely, the legions are awakening. Doing a speed paint. Hanging out, chatting with some wonderful folks here. How this is Sam's descent into insanity. Yes. Everyone thinks that me painting this many models at once is just crazy. But you know, I think it can be done. And I'm here to prove it. I don't know if I'm going to finish all of these tonight, but I will definitely have a lot of progress. Sam and the Nerdettes. Funny. What are you up to, Elan? What are you doing this evening? What Warhammer project are you working on? Or are you just stopping in to say hi? And I'm wearing a shirt. This is Hobby Nerd. Thanks. You know, if you want to wear a shirt that says Big Nerds Wargaming, we have a merch shop. Link is on the channel homepage or in recent videos. Shameful merch plug right there. Sorry. Oh, those look so cool. Thank you. Well, that is the look I was shooting for. It's all coming together now. So I'm getting all of the armor panels, or flesh parts, you could think of them as, the Cryptek Armor Shade. And already, I noticed there were no hoodies. I may have to appease myself with a t-shirt and a mug. Oh, that would be awesome. No hoodies, you say? I could, hoodies are an option. I could easily add some hoodies. So the merch is through Spreadshop. They manage all the production and they have different products. But you create your own designs and you work with them and get them kind of how you want them to look on the various products, and then they handle all the printing. And it's all on demand, so I don't have to keep any inventory on hand, which is nice. So it's kind of a low investment. Actually, it's a no investment up front for me. It's a nice, easy way to get some merch out there for people. It's a brilliant business model on their part. And yeah, I ordered some stuff just to make sure that the quality was good, and I'm pretty happy with how it is. If you add hoodies, I'll let Ben be your friend. Yeah, I can add some hoodies. I'll do that this week. I'll add a hoodie option. I tried to not have too many different products on there because I know that sometimes if you present too many options, people get kind of paralyzed with they're overwhelmed with too much choice, you know? So kind of selecting a few products and a few colors to choose from. That's the psychology, I think. So to make them to order and you get a cut. Yes, that is correct. We get 2.5 months of summer to go around here, so hoodies are almost always the season. Yeah, that's actually pretty similar to how it is here in the Wisconsins. Although some people think I'm from Canada, they think I have a Canadian accent. According to some commenters in the videos. Which I get it, if you're not from around here, everything north of Chicago sounds like Canada. But I do not have a Canadian accent. I originally thought you were Canadian due to you spelling gray correctly. Wait. Spelling gray correctly. G-R-E-Y? Is that how Canadians spell gray? I just like to default to some of the British spellings for colors. I think it just looks more sophisticated. That's just a personal preference. Although I don't spell the word color, couleur. That one's definitely color. But yeah, gray is one of those words that I G-R-E-Y instead of A-Y. I don't know why that is. I probably started doing that like ironically and just stuck to it. The American spelling of that word is gray. Yeah, I did know that. I don't know why we have all these silly little differences. My dad's family is Quebecanese, and my mom's is Scottish. So I got a lot of British and French influence in my family growing up. And I still have a bit of my New York accent. Hey, I'm walking here. Yes, the iconic New York accent. Not that bad, but people do that to me to say, people do try to get me to say that. Say coffee. Hey, you want a cup of coffee? Like that. Say coffee. My sister-in-law's dad is from Boston. He's got the thickest Boston accent. Sometimes, and he talks fast too. So he's talking to you, and sometimes I don't know what the heck he's saying. And I just like nod my head. I'm like, yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. Super nice guy though, but it's just so funny. Like, you gotta slow down. I don't speak New England. Oh, the Boston thing is ridiculous. Yes. Absolutely. Now that is a thick accent. Languages and accents, something I find very fascinating. When I was in college, I took some linguistics courses to fill in some general education requirements. And yeah, I always thought linguistics was really interesting. Just how, languages have developed and changed over time. All that good stuff. Getting to the part of the paint scheme where things are slowing down a little bit. It's got a lot of little details to paint. English got accents? Cool, I speak Spanish. Nice. Yeah, English has a lot of accents. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic, but I'm sure Spanish has accents too. Depending on where you're from. You're so well-rounded. Who's well-rounded, Ben? Me? Yeah, that city has a number of different accents between the 5 boroughs. You can tell if someone's from the Bronx, the Brooklyn, Long Island, Staten Island, and up the river. I can't tell the difference between. Well, I know the Bronx is pretty distinct. Other than that, it's just a New York accent to me. And I can't tell the difference. I'm sure if I listen to it more, I could pick it out. The Brew Crew got a hit. Nice. What's the score? You could tell a Bronx accent when someone says, I'm from the Bronx. You're not wrong there, Ben. So funny. Well, actually, I can the Jersey accent is pretty distinct too. From New Jersey. It's 1-0 Cubs. Boo! Cubs suck. Okay, so if you're from out east, that makes sense that baseball is life. I know the people out east are obsessed with baseball. When I went and visited Boston, you know, it's just Red Sox everywhere. Brooklyn, they tend towards the W sound, so it'd be Brooklyn. The Brooklyn. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You know, like in every World War II movie, there's always like the character from Brooklyn, and he talks like that. Think of like Saving Private Ryan or like Band of Brothers. There's always, you know, your stereotypical New Yorker character. And then there's always that character from the South. Oh yeah, I almost got into a fight with my brother one time when he showed up to my house in a Bo Sox hat. The one that says yuck yuck all the time. So the cool thing about batch painting, especially a batch this size, is by the time you get back, when you finish the last model in the batch, the first one's completely dry and ready for the next color. Just gotta find the positives, you know? but this is how we do. Oh no, I got some cryptic armor shade on the skeleton part. Just wash that off with some water. There we go. Problem solved. What movie was that? Black Hawk Down. Recent Essex, a British actor tried to do a southern accent. It was terrible. I don't remember. It is funny though. Some British actors are very good at American accents, and other ones are, it's just very bad. Like I guess Doctor Strange, if you've seen that with Benedict Cumberbatch. His American accent kind of sounds like this. It's like, yeah, I guess you kind of sound American, but like, where are you from? Yeah, it was passable, right? But like, I think also knowing how British he is, it kind of like really threw me off. So you're like extra critical of his accent when you're hearing him talk in an American accent. That's probably it too. You're like, you know, hyper focused on like, I'm just waiting for you to screw up because I know you don't talk like this normally. But yeah, it was passable. How's Millie Bobby Brown? I don't know. I've only seen her in Stranger Things. And she says like one word at a time. And then there's some actors that I didn't even know were British until I saw them talking in like an interview. Example, in Battlestar Galactica, the actor who plays Apollo, this is the one from the 2000s, not the original. The one who plays Lee Apollo, or Lee Adama. I didn't know that he was British until he was talking in an interview. And I was like, oh. Had me fooled, you know. How's or who's? Millie, she's the girl that plays, if you've seen Stranger Things, she plays 11. The science experiment escapee girl from Stranger Things. She's a British actress. Never seen it. People say Idris Elba has a pretty rough American accent. You know, I can't say that I've ever heard him speak American. He's just always had his awesome Idris Elba voice. But of course, the best American accent is Hans Gruber in Die Hard. The Wire was good enough I overlooked it. Oh, I haven't seen The Wire. That's a show, right? Or is that a movie? Hans Gruber. Rest in peace, Alan Rickman. I think that my favorite movie I've ever seen that actor in, HBO series. Oh, I'll have to check it out. The Wire. I have heard people talk about that show being really good. My favorite movie I've ever seen with Alan Rickman was Galaxy Quest, which is like, to this day, one of my all-time favorite movies. It's so good. He was the robot voice in Hitchhikers. Yeah. The suicidal, depressed robot. That movie's goofy. And of course, you know, he was really good in Harry Potter. Oops. Well, that's okay. I was done with him anyways. Popped right off my paint handle. Yeah, biggest problem with Hitchhikers, they tried to tackle all the books of the trilogy in one shot. That's like the opposite problem of The Hobbit. I'm glad they split Dune into 2 sections for the first book. Yeah. Travis, you seen you seen Dune 2, right? So good. I think, yeah, it's on Max right now. I didn't get to see it in theaters with the twins, sadly. Ooh, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, we saw it in theaters once. I wanted to see it again. We saw the first one twice in theaters. And then saw the second one in theaters when it came out. But, yeah. I mean, it's still a good watch, good movie. I think, now this is a bold statement, I think depending on how the third Dune movie goes, I mean, it already is setting up, I think, to be like the best cinematic series or trilogy since the Lord of the Rings. Not better than Lord of the Rings, but I think it's the best movie series I've seen since Lord of the Rings. And maybe that just, you know, goes to show how much crap has been coming out lately in the last 20 years. Saw the first one in full 60mm IMAX and it was great. Please don't let Amazon butcher 40K thing either. I know. I am very, like, nervous about that. I guess I'm gonna have low expectations, and then maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. Because Rings of Power, awful. And what, you know, Netflix did with The Witcher, also not that good. Like, I think it started off, The Witcher started off really good. And then it just kind of like went off the rails a little bit. They took too many liberties with the plot, I think. All they had to do is really just follow the books, and it would have been a really good show. But, yeah, Rings of Power is bad. Although, I will say, Fallout, if you haven't seen that on Amazon, that was surprisingly pretty good. So, that gives me hope that maybe the Warhammer 40k thing, whenever that, you know, comes into existence, will be maybe decent. We'll see. Of course, all the rumors going around on the internet, freaking out. Who knows if they're true or not. Let's just say the 40k fan base is very passionate. And 40k is life for many people. So they're just very protective and very passionate about that. And they don't want to see it done dirty. I mean, I don't want to see it done dirty either. But, you know what? If it's bad, it's bad. We just gotta accept that and move on. But I hope it's not bad. We'll see. All the clickbait is saying Henry Cavill is out. Yeah, that's true. And like, I've looked at all the clickbait, and they all reference the same like anonymous poster on 4chan or something. So it's like not even like a reliable, and it's like the same thing, just regurgitating the same stuff. I hate clickbait articles. You know, and they got like, yeah, some clickbaity title, you click on it and it has no new information, and it's just saying the same crap that everybody already knows. They just want you to click on it for the ad revenue. So stupid. There's too much. I have to make this mine going on there. You're copying someone else's work, copy it right. Or you're playing with someone else's playground, play by their rules. Yeah, I mean, when you're adapting something for film, you know, you have to expect that there's gonna be some changes or creative liberty going on, which is fine because, you know, sometimes you have to do that to adapt a story to a screenplay, where you just can't really get the same depth that you get with like a book. So like when you're reading a book, they're often like inside of characters' heads and you're hearing their thoughts, and you can't really get that in a movie. So that's kind of one disadvantage of that medium of storytelling. But on the other hand, you get a lot of really cool visuals, so much of the new Star Wars stuff is so disconnected from what George created. It isn't recognizable as Star Wars. Yes, that is an example of too much creative liberty or too much just doing whatever. It doesn't help that the new trilogy, between the first and second one, the directors were completely on opposite sides of the universe as far as thought process and storytelling goes. Yeah, I gave up on Star Wars too. It really makes me sad because I love Star Wars. Like, I love Star Wars a lot, and the whole Disney direction with it, There's like some good stuff. Some of the Disney Plus shows are okay. Some of them are kind of not. And as far as the movies go, I think Rogue One is like the only good one. Solo was okay, but only because you know, the 3 trilogy movies were just so bad. The best book to screen adaptation I've ever seen is Stephen King's The Green Mile. Solo was Bantha Poodoo. It wasn't that bad. I like that they kind of explored the crime syndicate, you know, underground gangster Star Wars world a little bit. I thought that was really cool. You don't really see that outside of like a book. I like Solo because I've read some of like the, you know, like the cool Star Wars novels that came out in like the 90s. And it reminded me of like those those Star Wars novels. And that kind of like 90s Star Wars renaissance. But I can understand why people didn't like Solo. I get it. Alright, just do a Null Oil over the skeleton metal bits to add some shade. Because never leave metal unwashed. But I'm going to leave the metal on the gun and the shoulders as is, and I'll get those with a different wash. Bantha Poodoo, sir. Well, it's another book to screen adaptation. Ready Player One. I don't know if anyone's ever read that book. The movie was okay. It wasn't great. It was fine. The book was alright too. The book wasn't amazing either. But I thought the book was better than the movie. But as far as adaptations go, I think it was pretty good. Ender's Game. I have seen the movie. I have not read the book. But apparently the movie didn't do so well because they did not make a sequel. Unfortunately. Actually, you know what sequel I want to see? Another Alita Battle Angel. And that movie didn't do well enough, unfortunately. So I don't think... They teed it up for like a sequel and everything. They had Edward Norton revealed as like the bad guy at the very end. Only for them to not make a second one. But that movie's actually good. And it's one of those movies that I think didn't do as well as it should have. For various other reasons. Newsflash, Half-Life 3 still does not have a set release date. Oh, did you read that in an article, Ben? Where the title was Half-Life 3, latest updates from Valve. And you open it up and it says, Valve still has not given us a release date on Half-Life 3. I hate clickbait articles like that. So annoying. He's done a number of uncredited roles. He played the King of Jerusalem and Kingdom of Heaven without a credit. Who? No, it's just the truth. Been watching a lot of videos. Oh, Edward Norton. Oh. Ah, yes, Edward Norton, the actor I was talking about. I should have known. I heard he's difficult to work with as an actor. Like from co-stars and stuff. And he's kind of a bit of a diva. Which I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know though. I bet you a lot of those actors are a pain in real life. Would not be surprised. What did y'all think of the Knives Out movies? Oh, Knives Out. So the first one, I really liked. I liked it a lot, actually. It was fun. The second one was also not bad, but not as good as the first one. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I just like Daniel Craig though. He's a really entertaining actor to watch. With his American Southern accent. That kind of harkens back to our discussion earlier of British actors and their American accents. There, we've come full circle. Thank you, Ben. I tend to lean tactile entertainment or baseball. I agree on the first one. Good fix. Yeah. Like, the second one was okay. Definitely not as good as the first one. The first one kind of felt fresh. You know, like, it was like a fresh take on a whodunit kind of story. A lot of interesting characters. But of course, a movie with the best characters, interesting characters. I know, Ben, you've seen this one, but The Menu is a very good movie. I think it came out last year. It is. I saw that movie and instantly ordered it or bought it on disc. It's that good. I loved it. Like a dark comedy. That one actually piqued my curiosity. Oh, nice. Is it gory? No. I mean, there's like a couple of scenes where there's a little bit of blood, but it's not like super excessive. I don't know. It's more of like a character kind of dark comedy dialogue. I don't know, Ben, would you say it's gory? There's like one or two scenes I can think of where it might get a little gory if people are, you know, uncomfortable with that, but that's definitely not like the it's not like the main point of it, you know, by any means. It's definitely like, yeah, like character dialogue, entertaining. But yeah, it's I just haven't seen anything like that movie in a long time. So it felt very like fresh and original. It was kind of like a breath of fresh air because I don't know, a lot of movies is just kind of like the same old crap over and over again, you know? Sky beams and superheroes. So that was a breath of fresh air. I watch a lot of movies, if you didn't know. Have you ever seen Thank You for Smoking? Older movie, dark comedy. Yes, I have. A lot of people I talk to haven't seen that movie. But that movie was very good. Yeah, they had the actor, what's his name? He played Harvey Dent in Dark Knight. He was the lead in that movie. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I barely remember, you know, the plot, but I remember liking it. Alan Eckert, that's his name. Boondock Saints, enough said. Yeah. I feel like... So this is something I worry about with streaming services, is there's like a category of movies that are really good, but just aren't currently popular, or maybe the big media companies don't think they'll be popular, so they don't have them on their streaming services. And I would be surprised if Thank You for Smoking is one of those movies where you go on Netflix or you go on Amazon and you search for it. It might not be there. Or maybe you have to like pay to rent it. But I think there's probably a lot of really good movies out there now that just aren't on anything. And, you know, no one has DVDs anymore or discs. You can't go rent them from a video store or something. So I fear that there's just a lot of really good movies that are going to be kind of like lost. Unless the people who know it, you know, and they have a copy or something. One of the things I think about when I'm painting alone with my thoughts. There's Blockbuster again. You gotta go to your local library. Hey, the local library introduced me to Star Trek. I was able to watch all the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager when I was in high school and younger. Two more Wolfen to finish for this 5-man. Need to do some speed paints, then base and some highlights. Nice. Yeah, using speed paint in addition to highlights. It's just a nice combination of the different paint types, and they like market it as you use only speed paints or you only do this way, but you know, if you mix them all together, you can get some really cool results. I like that. I like hardened leather over red for weapon hilts. Oh yeah, that probably looks really cool. Probably get like a nice like red leather kind of look to it. Yeah, I can picture it in my mind's eye. Yeah, and of course, Basilicanum Gray over metal. That's such a winning combo. Which I'm debating about doing next. Maybe Basilicanum Gray next over the spots that need it here. Or maybe we'll call it a night after this known oil, because it is already, we've been doing this for, wow, 2.5 hours, right? Yeah, 2.5 hours. I counted right. That's incredible. Time just flew. We've been having so much fun talking, chatting, talking movies. the movie buff crew here. This is nice. Yeah, so we got some warriors blocked in mostly. So what I have to do next is Basilicanum Gray on the metal here and on the shoulders, as well as the face, I believe. Yeah, the face gets it too. Yeah, and then it's just kind of going back and highlighting a little bit, and then doing in the green details, and they'll be done in no time. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with this progress so far. 2.5 hours, and we got 20 warriors. I'd say 75% of the way done. So yeah, it's not bad. So next week, maybe I'll pick these back up. Maybe I'll have them finished by then. And I'll be working on something else. It all depends on how I fill my free time between now and then. So, but yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And thanks for chatting. Keeping me company. This is great. Yeah, I don't think there's no new videos coming out this week, but there is one coming out next week, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.